Two recent cases there from the WRC which give a valuable reminder to employers that they need to be very careful about the questions that they ask at interview stage. First question, or the first case rather, both cases have been reported there in the media in the last week or so from the Workplace Relations Commission. In both cases, the unsuccessful candidate brought a claim for discrimination against the employer who was carrying out the recruitment process. Both claimants were unsuccessful. The first one was an assistant principal in Gormanstown College in County Meath. He is a gentleman who is 60 years of age, and in the course of the interview for the position, he was up against one other candidate. But in the course of the interview, the employer's representative asked him if he had the energy for the role, because it involved extra hours and extra responsibilities and work and so forth. The assistant principal, who was unsuccessful and who brought the claim, saw this as a discriminatory question. In other words, the successful candidate, he told the WRC, was 30 years younger, and he presumed that this question was not asked of the younger candidate who was successful. He brought a claim for discrimination on the grounds, of age, insofar as it was an inappropriate question to ask according to him, and the adjudicator at the WRC agreed with him and awarded €3,300 in compensation for the discrimination involved in asking the question, "Have you the energy for this role?" or something to that effect. The employer's defence was they weren't referring to his age, they were referring to the fact that he was senior management and that he already had, being the assistant principal, significant responsibilities and significant tasks and duties to carry out, and the question was more from their perspective, have you the energy for this, given the fact that you're senior management and you already have a lot to do. That was their defence, but the adjudicator wasn't accepting that, and the adjudicator basically held that they did not ask that question of the younger candidate, the 30-year-old, and that there is an inference that if you ask somebody who is 60 years of age at an interview if they have the energy for the job, there is an inference or an implication there that you are making some sort of a judgment about the person's age or about the person's situation, and between the jigs and the reels, the WRC held that it was discriminatory and he was awarded €3,300. The other case involved a lady who went for a job and who wore a headscarf. In the course of the interview, the employer's manager or employer asked the lady in question, she was unsuccessful as well, asked her where she was from. She said she was from Germany, and he followed up with this line of questioning by asking her where she was originally from. It transpired that the woman in question originally came from Algeria, travelled with her parents to Germany as a young girl, and then 9 years ago came to Ireland from Germany. But the question was, where are you from? And then when she said, I'm from Germany, and the follow-up question, the rejoinder was, where are you originally from? The adjudicator in this case held that the employer was not asking employees or candidates who came from Ireland, for example, where they were from or where they were originally from, and the adjudicator held that the question was an inappropriate question and awarded compensation of, let me see, I think it was £1,500 for the act of discrimination in asking that question. Yeah, the adjudication officer held that the question was not an appropriate question and awarded €1,500 to the lady in question. So there you go, takeaway for employers. You need to be careful about the questions that you ask at recruitment stage, at interview stage. The best thing to do is probably set out your questions in advance, put a bit of thought into the questions you're going to ask, stick to your questions, and ensure that your questions are not discriminatory, and ensure that your questions are asked of each candidate. Don't make assumptions or don't make judgments of candidates on the fly as to their age or their religion or where they're from or anything of that nature, and then ask a question arising from that, because if you do that, you're definitely going to get into hot water like these two employers. Hope you find this video useful. If you do, I would appreciate if you gave it the thumbs up down below, and you may be interested in subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thanks a lot.